and rolling these systems out, it is probably not actually a technology discussion. It's a culture and people discussion. Can you give us a bit of insight of some of your learnings over the years with the supporting of rolling out of these various systems?
Thanks, Alistair. And you know, when I sit here and I look at all these techno geeks, I feel a little bit intimidated, to be very honest. I have rolled out a few enterprise-wide digitalization projects, but to be honest, those were in the financial services. But somehow same problems. I need to focus on two things. You know, I've got a lot to say. I do apologize. But two big things. It's culture and it's literary capability are the two things we look at. And one thing we do know as Gartner is that 75% of all system implementations fail to achieve their goal. That doesn't mean that you don't get some benefit, but basically you're not getting what you basically paid for. And we mostly find is that it's not really a tech problem. The technology is there. We find it's a culture problem. We had an experience, we worked on a mine last year, we're still there this year, where they went from a conventional mine into a mechanical mining, 3 kilometers underground, and to turn the company around, or the mine specifically, was more on the culture and the people part than actually the technology part. It was a wash with technology. So we don't really find that it's more a technology issue. It really is more about a culture. Now, the big thing we want to say is that most of the work that you do with big digitization, because your safety and your efficiency benefits come with big digitization projects. I'm not talking about buying a drone here or there. You need to do that. When you talk about big, you're talking about culture change. And the problem is we focus on digitization projects as a technical project and not as a culture transformation project. And so what then radically happens is that we spend a lot of time on the technical aspects. We train up the guys effectively. We show them the new technology. And what we then do is we create an awareness with staff through workshops, through awareness sessions. And in essence, what we fundamentally know is that tech always outruns culture. Always. Organizations are never able to keep pace with knowledge. Now, what we do is we don't focus on how do we fundamentally change our organizations to adopt culture into the organization. So we have an issue over here. When you do a change project, there are a few things that you need to know. You need to be focused. There needs to be willingness. If you have focused people and you have willing people, you're going to get the optimization. And then you will see the measurable results. What we found a lot in the digitization projects is that we are focused with what we want to do with our digitized project. But we skip the willingness part. So we implement it and we skip the willingness part. The willingness part comes from first your frontline leaders and your staff. You need to get them on board. You need to first focus on your frontline leaders because let me tell you, they are the hub of your organization. If they don't buy it, the teams don't buy it. So we must fundamentally understand it. So what we're saying is you need to get the willingness involved here. And the willingness basically means take them along, understand them. I don't know why we avoid it. We avoid to talk about the thing called fear. Digitization brings change. Change brings fear to the workforce. And when it brings fear to the workforce, it brings fear to the communities because the communities are supplying labor. And a lot of local procurement is happening with the community. So what happens is we don't address fear, we address this new technology, and wow, what a major benefit it would be. There'll be high-skilled workers there. You'll get paid more. Don't worry, this is going to be a wonderful thing. Except that most of the guys know that they might not be that high-skilled person because they don't have the capabilities to be that high-skilled person. So what happens is they fear they're going to lose the job. If you don't address the fear, what then fundamentally happens is you have a problem with your staff, you have a problem with your mid-level leadership, and you have a problem with your unions and your communities. So what we're saying is if you want to go forward, you need to address the fear. You need to go from focused to willingness to get the optimized benefits. You've got to work on that. Now let's go to the capability side. Oh, this is a beautiful topic. All right. We have a skills gap. We fundamentally know that. Let me give you a beautiful example. Okay, so we have a remote operator. One of the machines breaks down. He calls the maintenance staff. The maintenance staff puts his the AR on his helmet. He goes down with his team. It's Wi-Fi to the face. The technology is there. They stand in front there. Oh my goodness. How does this work? The camera on. We're talking to the OE support in Scandinavia. We say, this is the situation with the machine here. Oh, he says, don't worry. I do this and that and that. And we're all sending pictures to each other and we're talking. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. It's working like a charm. The thing gets fixed up. We type it into a little kind of like notebook, a notepad, and voila, we can trend analysis away. That's basically the beautiful technology that there. We've got autonomous, we've got the connected worker. Oh, it's wonderful. All right. Now we have the same technology, but there's this. I'm going to describe the capability gap with the same technology. All right. So bear with me. Okay, I'm exaggerating a lot, but that's just for emphasis. You understand that? All right. Right now, firstly, remote operators are half an hour late to their station because, the meeting ran late and I've got to get my breakfast out of the microwave. So we started late. So already starting up half an hour late, which, by the way, was traditional anyway, and we had to go down by the cage, so it's fine. So we've already started late. Now we find there's a problem with the machine. Cool. So we get hold of the maintenance crew. Okay, now the maintenance, we need 3 of them. We can't find the one. Thank goodness there's a sensor on him, so we can get a hold of him. Where's the guy? Now remember, we cancelled satellite workshops because, well, do we really need them? No, because we've got all the technology there. Anyway, we find him, we get there. Okay, we look at the machine there, we fundamentally understand what the problem is. Okay, we put on our AR, we go to the guy in Scandinavia, say, can you help us? Now, he says, yes, I can. And then there's accent issues. Look, I don't understand the Scandinavian as well as he understands me, so we get through to that. Then we fix it, but we're a little bit late. We understand it, but we're getting it fixed. We're using the same technology. I've got my notepad over there, and guess what? I'm in a rush, so I don't type in what the actual problem is. I use the one that we always use called unknown. Unknown. And then we walk away. And everyone's happy, and we carry on moving. All right, same technology. Now, this is the problem over here. The trend analysis is short because unknown comes as the biggest issue. And the GM at the end goes, jeepers, my availability is standing at 80%, but my utilization on availability is actually less than when I used to have manual people. This is all for exaggeration, but I think you get the picture. Okay, let's just put it in context here. Your supervisor and your engineering supervisor specifically, between 80 and 85% of them are partially competent for their role. On a daily basis, we only execute our daily tasks 50% of the time effectively. Okay, we're talking about engineering because we always think the engineering guys are more clever than the mining guys or the plant guys, because heaven forbid that they're better than us. Come on. To be honest, and that's what we are right now standing. The other interesting thing is the confidence levels. Management has a little bit. Oh, I have to cut shortly. Oh, hang on. So I'll get to the point. What you're going to have to understand is that we've got a skills gap that needs to be covered. And we need to train and coach our people effectively. And coaching is the most thing. I've seen coaching transform organizations. If you mentor and coach the people effectively, there's so much more to say. There's so much more to say. Anyway, I'll leave it there.
Arjen, thank